Today, the conglomerate NGOs, civil society organizations comprising of the ADE, AYWO, FAF, FKGGP, GSU, and supported by the AAYWAs, the GGU, TG, to the Garo Senior Citizens Forum, and the All India Garo Union, and TGCSU. With their support, we would like to announce that on the 16th and 17th, we will be declaring a non-cooperation movement. We want to request our public also. We have already requested our public to observe the non-cooperation movement, in the sense that voluntarily people will not come out from their houses, voluntarily people will not open their shops, voluntarily people will not attend the offices. But we understand that there will be some emergency services, like we have already conveyed to the public that pharmacies should be open because it is a medical need, and any medical emergency will be given exemption. They should be exempted, and even emergency services such as the MECL, PHE, and so on and so forth. The main contention why we are calling for the NCM is because of two reasons. The first being that the government of Meghalaya has repeatedly tried to pay the salaries of the employees of the GHDC through the state government, which we think is unacceptable. We fear that the autonomy of the council may be diluted by this very act. And I don't think our fear is unfounded, because if we look at the provisions of the 6th schedule to the Indian Constitution, we can clearly see that the provisions of the para 6, there are some subjects which were bestowed on the ADCs, the autonomous district councils, such as the fisheries department, primary schools, transport department, PWD roads, and dispensaries, medical dispensaries. So if we look carefully, if we observe carefully, all these departments which was bestowed, the power of which was bestowed to the district councils, autonomous district councils, ADCs, has already been diluted by the government of Meghalaya, at least in the state of Meghalaya. Because all these departments, the government of Meghalaya is taking charge of all these departments and not the ADCs. So we can, if we look back at history, we can see that some of the provisions of the 6th schedule has already been diluted by the government of Meghalaya. I'm not saying that, I'm not putting the blame alone in this present government, but previous governments too has played a role in this procedure. So our main concern is, as per the agreed tax settlement signed between the ANBC, Archik National Volunteer Council, ANBC-B, that is the breakaway faction of the Archik National Volunteer Council, the government of India, and the government of Meghalaya. As per the agreement signed between these four parties, to be accurate, 4 parties, a number of departments, I think 13 number of departments, are to be added to the ADCs, autonomous district councils. And as per the agreement, the government of Meghalaya is already undergoing the procedure of amending the Indian Constitution, which will be the 125th Amendment Act. For the time being, it's still a bill, but it will be act once the amendment is done. So as per the amendment, the councils were supposed to, the ADCs were supposed to get their fair share of taxes, revenues, and everything, especially from the Consolidated Fund of India. through the State Finance Commission. And we have been raising this issue with the state government for quite some time now, but the state government is quite reluctant on making the State Finance Commission functional. Because once the State Finance Commission is functional, the state will be obligated to sanction certain amount of money which the ADCs rightfully deserve. I'll put it this way. Nonetheless, right now, the state government has announced that the payment of salaries for the ADCs will be done by the state government through an escrow account. Now, we have a very big contention with this because we feel that when we asked the Honorable Chief Minister during our meeting in this regard, he informed us that the money that the state government will be paying to the will be utilizing to pay the salaries of the ADCs will be from the fund from the ADCs itself, and that fund will be from the royalties accrued by the district councils on major and minor minerals. So now the question arises, if the money belongs to the ADCs, the state is just borrowing the money from the ADCs and giving the money to the ADCs, but still having control over how the money is to be utilized by the ADCs, then we see it as an dilution of the powers, financial powers of the ADCs. So these are the reasons why we are opposing the proposal from the state government that the state government will be paying the salaries of the ADCs to the escrow account. And I think the KHEDC and JHEDC, Garo Hills Autonomous District Council and the Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council, they have already rejected the proposal. But the proposal, the only ADC that has not rejected the proposal is from the Garo Hills Autonomous District Council. In a way, we feel quite dejected and disappointed with the incumbent EC of the GHEDC, because this whole situation arises because of their very incompetence. Because if we recall, we will see that there was a big crisis in Garo Hills, especially in the GHEDC, because the GHEDC was not able to pay the salaries of its employees for the last 44 months. And thus the Non-Gazetted Employees Association of the GHEDC, they resorted to agitation demanding their salaries be paid, full salaries be paid, that is the pending salaries of 44 months. So based on that, now the state government is taking advantage of the situation, and now the state government is saying that we'll be paying the salary of the ADCs, which is wrong, because it defeats the very idea of the ADCs. The very idea of the ADCs were to implement the power and functions of the 6th schedule, which guarantees that the scheduled areas, the hill areas, the areas which falls under the 6th schedule will be governed by the people of that area. And accordingly, these ADCs have been formed. But now, what we feel is the state government, the government of Meghalaya, is trying to wrestle away all the power and functions of the ADCs step by step, systematically. Though not directly, but systematically. These are the reasons why we are opposed to the idea. The second thing is about the proposal that Tura Medical College, which again was in the agreement between the ANBC, ANBCB, the government of India and the government of Meghalaya. Again, as per the agreement, the government of India has sanctioned for the construction of Tura Medical College. But now the problem is our government, the incumbent government of Meghalaya, they are hell bent on running to the medical college on a public-private partnership basis, that is on the PPP mode. We are adverse to the idea because of various reasons. First and foremost, if the civil hospital is run in the PPP mode, then the first concern is that there will be no job reservation policy in the appointment of any employee for that to the medical college. We feel that it is a betrayal from the government towards the people of Garo Hills. There has been no medical college in Garo Hills, neither centrally sponsored nor state sponsored. So we don't have any government medical college in Garo Hills as of yet. And it was the expectation of all the people of Garo Hills that is present to the medical college will be run by the government, will be meant by the government. Nonetheless, the government is now saying that it will be run in PPP mode, depriving our youths and our students from opportunities, job opportunities to be precise. Second thing, if it is run on PPP mode, the number of seats that will be reserved for the students who wants to pursue MBBS under this institution will be reduced to 50% from 85%. If it would have been run by the government, if the medical college would have been run by the government, then the number of seats reserved for our local students would have been 85%. But now the number of seats reserved will be reduced to 50%. And this is not something that we are blindly accusing the government, but it's already there in the ordinance, Meghalaya Private Medical Colleges Ordinance 2024, something like that. So it's clearly written there. And another point, to the best of my knowledge, this medical college was sanctioned in the very idea that the referral hospitals, that is the district hospitals to be precise, the civil hospitals, will be attached to this medical college, and then these referral hospitals will be converted to medical colleges. So now we have gone through the expression of interest that was floated by the government of Meghalaya for anybody who is interested in running the medical college in a PPP mode, whereby it was stated that the management of these referral hospitals, these hospitals with which this medical college will be attached, the management of these hospitals will be maintained by the private enterprise. So now a big question arises, especially for the weaker section, economically weaker section of the people of Garo Hills. And I want to emphasize on one point. Majority of the people of Garo Hills are from the economically weaker section. So at present, if someone from my relative or even I myself, if I get admitted in any hospital, in this civil hospital, I don't have to pay for the medicines, I don't have to pay for the beds, and even for consultation with the doctors, I don't have to pay. Every citizen doesn't have to pay. But once it will be maintained by the private hospitals, then we'll have to pay maybe in thousands, even for bed, even for doctor consultation, even for the medicine. On top of that, right now, if somebody happens to be in an accident or anything, or somebody just falls sick momentarily, we can always go to the civil hospital, we can go to the emergency room, we'll have to pay a nominal fee of 10 rupees and then we can get our checkup done. Similarly, even for outpatient DT, OPD, we have to pay a nominal sum of 10 to 20 rupees and we can we can consult with the doctors. But if this medical college will be run by the private enterprise, then the fees will be skyrocketing. I think even for consultation, even for OPD, we'll have to pay around 400 to 500 rupees. Even for bed, I think we'll have to pay around 500 rupees per night. For paying cabins, so we don't even have to talk about that. But we're talking about the general cabins, the general wards. Even for per bed, we'll have to pay a hefty amount. Even for the medicines, we'll have to pay. So I think the government will have to take into account the economically weaker sections of the society, and accordingly, we are demanding the government that Trira Medical College should be run and maintained by the government of Meghalaya, and we will not accept any other alternative. Nonetheless, the government of Meghalaya, in both the issues regarding the GHDC and also regarding the Trira Medical College, is trying to bulldoze its agenda on the citizens of Garo Hills, and accordingly, to show our dissent, we have appealed to the people of Garo Hills that there will be a non-cooperation movement, not cooperating with the government. We will cease all activities in Garo Hills. All regular activities, daily activities will cease from dawn to dusk, that is from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the 16th and 17th of this month, that is October 2025. So we do hope that our message will get across to the authorities, and the authorities will act in the best interest of its people. That is all. Thank you.